How do you improve on perfection? That's the biggest question that Lumines Arise has to answer. If there were anyone who was up to the task, it would be Enhance and Monstars, best known for their work on Tetris Effect, which is widely regarded as the best puzzle game since, well, Tetris. It's ironic because for a while, that distinction went to Lumines, a launch title for the PlayStation Portable created by Tetsuya Mizuguchi, founder of Enhance. Clearly, Mizuguchi and company are more than capable of meeting hype and expectations, so I approached Lumines Arise not with trepidation, but optimism. I still play the original Lumines regularly on my Nintendo Switch 2, most often as a way to wind down in the evening while lying in bed. That first song is etched into my brain. And shining, and shining, and shining, and shining. While Mondo Grosso Shinin' is absent from Lumines Arise, there's plenty of new, equally catchy songs ready to welcome me into an experience that's a delight for the eyes and ears from start to finish, even if there were some things that left me frustrated.
Lumines Arise feels familiar, but there's one very welcome gameplay addition.
If you've played Lumines in the past, then jumping into Lumines Arise will feel like riding a bike. For those who have never experienced the musical puzzle game, here's a quick rundown. The goal of Lumines is to match falling 2x2 tiles on the board to make 2x2 tiles of the same color. Take the above image. Your goal is to match up the purple tiles with other purple tiles, or the silver disco balls with other silver disco balls, to form at minimum a 2x2 tile. That will eliminate it from the board once the scrolling line crosses it in a Tetris-style manner and increase your point total. As you'd expect, the beauty of Lumines lies in its presentation, scenery, and visual uniqueness. Sadly, though, it doesn't always land, and sometimes it's even confusing or distracting when you're trying to play. There are a couple of Lumines-specific twists to the classic formula, though. First, you can make 3x3 or larger titles to eliminate more tiles in one go. Secondly, and this is the big one, Lumines' gameplay has a direct correlation with the music playing on each stage. The faster the beats per minute in the song, the faster the tiles fall. Your actions will also affect the song playing. If you turn your tile, additional notes will start playing. The better you do, the more the song amps up. It's a marriage between music and gameplay that makes it feel like you're conducting a symphony. Before long, you're not just in a groove with the gameplay, but also vibing with the songs. There are two additional Lumines twists that make it easier to eliminate tiles and keep on shining. First are the chain blocks, which let you eliminate similar tiles as long as they're connected. It's a great way to get yourself out of messy board states, and if you're playing intelligently, turn the tide of some stressful situations. The other is the brand new burst mechanic, which kicks things into overdrive. With every group of tiles cleared, you fill your burst meter, as indicated by the percentage above the scrolling line. When you reach 100%, you can activate burst, which lets you pile the same tiles on top of each other, eliminating the other colored tiles, clearing the board, and racking up even more points than you otherwise would have. It's a very welcome mechanic that adds another layer of strategy on top of the Lumines formula. Being able to get out of a sticky situation by activating burst is great, but due to the randomness of the upcoming tile clusters, there are times when it feels like you waste your burst mode, which feels incredibly depressing.
There aren't many games that match Lumines Arise's style.
It didn't take long for Lumines Arise to impress me with how varied its presentation is. More often than not, it feels like I'm out at the club while playing the game. The music's bumping, the lights are flashing, and I can't help but do a little dance while sitting in my chair. As you'd expect, the beauty of Lumines Arise lies in its presentation, scenery, and visual uniqueness. Sadly, though, it doesn't always land, and sometimes it's even confusing or distracting when you're trying to play. I wouldn't say it's a jarring transition to go from EDM to produce, but it for sure feels like you're finally leaving the club, stepping out the door, and you're blinded by daylight. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad there's so much variety within Lumines Arise. Variety is the spice of life, after all.
Unfortunately, some of these themes don't work, and more often than not on some stages, a lack of visual clarity led to me wasting chain blocks because I couldn't always comprehend what was going on. Combine that with the gripes that occasionally pop up with the burst mechanic, and it feels like all of your hard work and strategy can go to waste, something that becomes doubly frustrating when the game's difficulty curve gets a little out of whack. The best part of Lumines Arise is switching between stages. Ironically, since the game literally stops when it transitions, it's also the worst. Losing all that momentum and rhythm is annoying. I expected stages with higher BPMs to be more difficult. That's the nature of the game, after all. Some of them feel like they have come out of nowhere, though, and it's frustrating to lose control so fast.
When Lumines Arise clicks, there's nothing else like it. I want to make it clear that I'm critiquing Lumines Arise's flaws so much because I absolutely love this game. I mean, it's Lumines, the game I bought a PSP for. It's the game I probably spent the most time playing on my PSP. It's also one of the games I've spent most of my time playing on my Nintendo Switch, and thus far, my Nintendo Switch 2. Lumines Arise is more luminous, which is great. Even when I'm playing through the more confusing and frustrating stages, it's still luminous. I'm still getting lost in the music, blown away by its uniqueness and creativity, and pushing myself to do better. Thankfully, there's a lot of gameplay variety that lets me do just that. In addition to your traditional campaign and survival modes, you have the option to build your own journey in Lumines Arise, selecting your own stages, and therefore creating an experience that's uniquely yours. Of course, this means I'm just playing through my favorite songs, but hey, there's nothing wrong with that, right? There are also missions to complete, adding some twists to the traditional Lumines gameplay. I say this as someone who almost never 100% games. I look forward to completing every mission I can, because, hey, it's Lumines, and I like to play Lumines, so if you're telling me there's Lumines missions I can complete, I'm game.
Lumines has never looked better. It feels weird to say that Lumines Arise is the first game in the series not designed for mobile devices, but it's true. While there are indeed several versions of the original Lumines that were released over the years, some of which were ported to consoles, they're all based on the original Lumines, first developed for the PSP. Lumines Arise is meant to be played on PC or PlayStation 5, and as such is displayed in such a way. The original Lumines had an up-close and personal feel to it. You were face-first in the action, but not always necessarily able to take in your surroundings. That's not the case here. You're fully immersed in the Lumines Arise experience. It feels like the difference between sitting in a traditional movie theater and an IMAX theater. You see the difference right away, and it's easier to get lost in the music here. Just to make sure, before sitting down to write this review, I played a little bit of Lumines Remastered on my Nintendo Switch 2, and it was surprisingly jarring. Not only because everything felt more zoomed in, but also because the original Lumines doesn't handle as smoothly as Lumines Arise. It was something I didn't take for granted in my 30 or so hours playing the game for this review. It makes sense though, especially since once I get into a groove, everything just feels together. I become one with the music, one with the art, one with the tiles. Closing comments. Like Tetris Effect before it, Lumines Arise lives up to the franchise's legacy. It's slick, stylish, and as addictive as ever. Despite my complaints and critiques of the game, especially those level transitions that take you out of the rhythm you've established, I look forward to spending hundreds of hours with Lumines Arise over the next decade or so. There was nothing quite like Lumines back in the day, and even though there are similar titles available today in 2025, there's still only one Lumines. A must-own for any puzzle game fan.